helicopter activity. That is the terrorist organization, the Monrovia Police Department. The demon-possessed and terrorist leader, Alan SANVICTORES, he's going to be prosecuted as a domestic terrorist. This is not distinct from the criminal conduct, the criminal system in the specific environment that Dominic Choi and the demon-possessed Los Angeles Police Department engaged in. And they're amplifying helicopter activity while I'm on the 4th floor of third-party facilitating venue. All the employees who are going to federal prison and all the people of the state who are engaged in criminal surveillance on the surveillance cameras, using key cards, providing methods of payment, evidence of their criminal engagement in state surveillance with the terrorist organization, the Monrovia Police Department, who are providing evidence of their criminal engagement in state surveillance. Which, remember, federal group stalking and monitoring is the ongoing state's criminal system to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen. This is why you engage in stalking in helicopters. This is why you engage in kidnapping. This is why you engage in criminal defamation. This is why you engage in assault and battery as an entity that then wants to falsely depict the target individual as the assailant or as the one who is to blame for some reason upon the manufacturing of information by the demon-possessed entity, by the way. And you're also mindful of all these things that are surrounding the surrounding circumstances around the group stalking system. They're all under a fake sun and an engineered light, the body of evidence that surrounds. So that was helicopter activity. And Alan SANVICTORES of the Monrovia Police Department, the identical pattern of conduct. And it is currently 6:41 p.m. So let's remind ourselves about where the fake sun is, including over the Ovid Family Community Library, where the Ontario Police Department is engaging in the exact same thing, which I provided video of comparing the criminal system that the Los Angeles Police Department mimicked in the specific environment, where there would never be any so-called sunlight on the hotel room wall coming through what's a window. I want to be clear, this window faces what is Huntington and Myrtle, and the light source, as you saw yesterday, at the same time, the entity engaging in the very highly stupid, very ignorant conduct of what is a mentally inept yet highly psychotic demon-possessed group stalker, who will use the same time to stalk in a helicopter in what is a specific environment amongst documented engineered light, which is speaking to the direct evidence of nothing other than group stalking. Nonetheless, and it's a ongoing commission of a sex offense that the entire terrorist organization is going to be prosecuted for. And if Alan SANVICTORES is not an American citizen, guess what? He's going to be deported. And every other demon-infected worker of the Monrovia Police Department, it's a terrorist organization. They're going to be prosecuted. They're going to be dealt with like every other demon-possessed terrorist that's going to be prosecuted in the state of California. Deportation where it applies. Federal prison where it applies. And they're doing so in engineered light. Remember, first of all, there's no sun that will be over the Ovid Family Community Library where you're looking at so-called engineered light. There would be no sunlight appearing at this vantage point onto the walls of the hotel. I want you to hear what's now criminal summoning. Alan SANVICTORES is indeed going to be prosecuted. There is no anonymity. The terrorist organizations engage in bullying conduct, and they think in their minds, where the government engages in terrorism, and as though it's anonymous that you're stalking in a helicopter, and also that no one is going to be able to prove or identify the fact that you are stalking a specific person. This is what the demons assumed. And then they engaged in continuing that. So when you have thousands of videos of the Los Angeles Police Department stalking in helicopters, and then I move to Monrovia, and that fake sun remains where I remain in Monrovia over a specific building amongst what is impossible light activity, in conformity to a documented pattern of conduct showing the exact same specific environment, not a natural environment, that is a prosecution of a terrorist, a domestic enemy, that is Alan SANVICTORES. There's no anonymity. And I guarantee you the names of those demons who are flying in helicopters are going to be produced because they're going to federal prison. And guess who's going to go to federal prison if you don't want to produce those names? The terrorist leader. And I want to be clear. Let me be clear. Alan SANVICTORES is very likely not avoiding federal prison, actually. But I want to be clear, who's stalking in the helicopters going to federal prison. And then you have the terrorist leader themselves over these corrupt law enforcement agencies while they abide by an identical pattern of conduct. Stalking, flying at such a close manner that it's amplified volume, meaning I can hear the helicopter, you're flying at a very close location. And by the way, you already saw the fake sun at 6 p.m. when I'm in the parking lot, and the demons were flying at a great distance in a black helicopter, and it was impossible. That was me showing you amplification. This is me showing you impossible light activity, and you also hearing the helicopter activity, and then you hear the criminal summoning under the fake sun that you already know as a matter of your ability to see it. Look at the screenshots, look at the videos. The video of the fake sun outside of the window facing Myrtle and Huntington at 8:24 in the morning, and the video of the fake sun over the same parking lot, the same property at 6 after 6 p.m. Yesterday, I captured video while I'm looking out this window, the same property, and you can see that light source. And this is evidence of the presence of a light source that's not the sun. Because never is there going to be a sun over the same property and some sort of sunlight, which isn't supposed to be suggesting that this is the sun. This is where the entity is stalking in helicopter, which is exactly what you just heard, directly pointing to the prosecution of the Arcadia Fire Department, whose fire chief is documented. You could see his face. If he's not an American citizen, he's going to be deported. The chief of police of the Monrovia Police Fire Department, they're going to be prosecuted, engaged in criminal summoning. Those are the demons sounding sirens to their own demise. There's no anonymity. Their names and their faces are uploaded to the Google Drive. Take a look at the terrorist leaders who are going to be prosecuted for terrorism in the state of California. While I'm in yet another location and the same exact pattern of conduct by a government is underway in concert with the people of the state, because guess who they're telling on? Very easily. Everybody that works as an employee of TOWNEPLACE Suites by Marriott is going to federal prison. They literally engaged in what is readily known. Literally engaged in what is readily known, if there was ever a doubt, which there is not reasonably. But what the LAPD just engaged in on videos, in hundreds and hundreds of videos, the Monrovia Police Department literally just engaged in it under the evidence of what is not possibly the sun, the light source amongst engineered light. And they just engaged in stalking in a helicopter. So that is the analysis. I want to show you the light source. Give me 1 second. So you see the engineered light, you hear the helicopter activity, you heard the criminal summoning. And the entity is doing so. I will also remind you about what is documented literally at the same time, not only by the demon-possessed Upland Police Department, as I documented in at the Upland Public Library, the fake sun that remains at that venue after 6 p.m., 6:38 p.m. is what I documented. And I also documented the Upland Police Department group stalking outside of that library in Upland, California, where there would never be any sunlight, nor would there be any sun while it's over me at the Upland Public Library, where it would be present every morning. But I also documented the same pattern of conduct of the demons that are stalking in helicopters like the Monrovia Police Department are doing, notably at a low elevation when I'm so close to the ground, so close that you can certainly hear the traffic. You can hear them revving their engines. It creates vibration of the hotel windows. When they're driving on the grounds, amazingly, engineered light just moves all over the walls and the ceilings inside of the hallways of this hotel. Also, when I'm capturing, you saw the engineered light that was flashing on this wall. This is where the entity is indeed stalking, flying at a low elevation necessarily, while they would deny that they're demons. But there is no denying that they're stalking, and that was amplification of helicopter activity, and you are necessarily flying at a low elevation in relevant position amongst engineered light. There's no sunlight that's going to be here. Remember, the hallway is right down its doors away, where the fake sun is outside of the hallway window on the 4th floor at 8:24 in the morning. It is 6:48 in the evening, and there's the fake sun. This is where demons are stalking in helicopter. Avalon Bay is a third-party venue. Just like Alvarado Gardens, they are group stalking with the same corrupt police department, engaged in criminal summoning with the same corrupt police department, fire departments, including Arcadia, including Monrovia, who provide evidence against all the people of the state, the demons who engage in molestation and directed light. While you see it moving all around on the staircase and on the ceilings, while you see them group stalking and engineered light moves across the DMV building in Glendale, while you see them in their crossing path in vehicles and engineered light moves all across my person and all across the sidewalks at the Social Security office in Los Angeles, while you see them driving and engineered light moves all across the sidewalks and all across the buildings, as I've documented for years in Ontario, in San Bernardino County. That's the entity that just provided that evidence. Alan SANVICTORES can look forward to a federal prosecution for what is domestic terrorism, while he is engaging in criminal conduct with an entity that is demon-possessed and engaging in surveillance through the maintenance of presence. And they are all in what is engaged in criminal conduct as a population who are violent sex offenders. They like to engage in demonic targeted conduct amongst engineered light, that's an impossible occurrence, amongst what is a fake sun that's remaining, which is an impossible occurrence. And that's also speaking to what was targeted, utilizing helicopter to engage in the elements of monitoring. Alan SANVICTORES says, I want to be clear, is communicating impunity and is communicating an impermissible threat to one who will personally prosecute him. And you need to know that this is a demon-possessed person, just like Dominic Choi, not ignorantly copying the pattern of conduct while demons are stalking in the path, remaining at traffic lights, movement as I move, amplification as I move, amplification and light activity as I document, like you just saw the flashing of light. The entity is not avoiding any documentation. You have a lot of people who are going to federal prison, including the entire Alvarado Gardens property while you're looking at the proof of what I documented for the whole time I was there. The whole corporate office in Palo Alto is indeed going to federal prison. The entire apartment complex, all 59 units filled with terrorists, group stalking just like Allen SANVICTORES and the Monrovia Police Department are doing with helicopters, much like the Upland Police Department, group stalking in the specific environment with helicopters, like the Ontario Police Department, group stalking with helicopters, just like the Fontana Police Department and the Ontario Police Department, group stalking with helicopters, just like the Chino Police Department documented on the record, group stalking with helicopters, just like the Montclair Police Department, which is already on the record in the same exact specific environment, not the natural environment, group stalking with helicopters, just like I documented the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department with helicopters in the same exact specific environment, where you are looking at, again, another venue, which is speaking to a statewide system, which is speaking to massive demon possession, while the demon possessed engage in with convenience and the ease with which they do so, both by using helicopters, engaging in state surveillance on their way home, if you will, on their way to the mall, on their way to the grocery store, where you also know the entity is group stalking. That's why they're flying over my heads in helicopter, like the LAP did at the bank, at Chase Bank in LA, where there's no light, there's no sun that's going to be over Chase Bank at 1600 Vermont at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when it's remaining here, which is evidence of it while you're looking at it right here after 6 o'clock in the evening. This is the same location where exactly what I'm stating, a fake sun is present at 8:24 in the morning, which is just on the opposite side of this wall at 8:24 to what is the same building. I'm looking at the object, and the demons provide flashing of light. It's the same sex offense when these sex offenders, who are the people of the state, who are going to federal prison, that work here at TownePlace Suites by Marriott, when they know my legs are open and my genitalia is exposed, these are the demons who are stalking in the path, and they are thinking that they're anonymous right now because they're in vehicles. Let me be clear. This demon is not separate or distinct from Allen SANVICTORES, who's going to be specifically prosecuted and removed from the position that he currently holds, while that demon-infected and corrupt agency, the Monrovia Police Department, not a real law enforcement agency, and they will be facing disbanding while they act with impunity, because the criminal conduct that's been documented amongst more than 8 additional law enforcement agencies who will be prosecuted for terrorism in the state of California, revealing what the state of California is engaging in with an entire population. As you hear helicopter activity outside of my hotel room under what is necessarily a fake sun, remember, it's at this location at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's exactly what I showed you in screenshots. It's at the same position that it's at 10 o'clock in the morning when I'm in the parking lot, which is adjacent to the same exact street. That's the fake sun that demons of the Monrovia Police Department, demons of the Arcadia Fire Department, demons of the Monrovia Fire Department are group stalking with a population who are violent sex offenders, targeting with engineered light, targeting under a fake sun, targeting with the state that uses helicopters to engage in psychological torture and terrorism and harassment as an entity, a defeated entity. The demon possessed are going to be shamed and they're going to be prosecuted, and many are going to federal prison. Hundreds of terrorists are going to federal prison in the state of California. So I want to be clear, and let me be clear, thousands are walking away with a criminal record as domestic terrorists, and which is an exceedingly violent sex offender, and that includes the chief of police of the Arcadia Fire Department, the chief of police of the Monrovia Fire Department, the chief of the fire chiefs of those aforesaid fire departments, and the chief of police of the Monrovia Police Department. They're looking forward to a federal prosecution. That's Falk crossing paths with engineer light across the red curb, impossible light activity, just like every other demon. Okay, not only is that not the sun, it's not sunlight that's dragging across the curb. They're engaging in the same conduct that you see at the DMV. They're engaging in the same conduct that you see inside of the Chase Bank, impossible light. You saw it inside of the lobby here at what is TownePlace Suites by Marriott, my upright shadow inside of a lobby where the fake sun is directly over it. This is at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is not the sun. And the entity just provided evidence against the employees and every demon that's maintaining presence inside of a hotel room, participating in state surveillance, which is the conspiracy to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen. That's why you engage in terrorizing methods of stalking, which are demonic, utilizing helicopters in a method that's not even intelligent. Sunlight, that's supposedly the product of a sun that's outside of a building. I need you to pay attention to the trajectory, this angle of light, which is impossible while it's coming in at an angle through a window, creating the shadow of the chains. This is all demonic. So is the amplified audible activity coexisting with the demonic pacing. This is terrorism that the people of the state are going to be prosecuted for. So the people of the state are the same ones that are inside of facilitating venues that I've documented by business name. Everybody inside of that Chase Bank, group stalking, just like Monrovia Police, that's what the LAPD were doing. And they're going to federal prison. That's exactly what the this TownePlace Suites by Marriott, they're on the payroll of TownePlace Suites. They're all going to federal prison. I've been here for 7 days. This is systematic facilitation, and the state provides evidence against the people, and the people provide evidence against the state. It's the state's pattern of conduct, however. It's providing what is an irreducible pattern of conduct that a population participates in with the people, and it is showing what demon possession looks like, what it conducts itself like, and the psychotic sex offending stalker that are the demon possessed, who are the state of California. Alan SANVICTORES, again, I want to be clear. He's going to be prosecuted as a terrorist. He is a domestic enemy, and he is acting with the population that's communicating a sexually violent threat to the life while they are stalking in helicopters, which he knows all about. It's a pattern of conduct in California. This is P.O.C. It's currently 6:55 p.m. You're looking at the phenomenon where there's no sun in perfect alignment with my bedroom window in Los Angeles at Alvarado Gardens, where you saw since February of 2024, that's where the fake sun remained. And I told you then that that's not the sun because it's a scientific impossibility, like here, that the sun would be over the same building from 8:24 in the morning, for example, until what is 6:56 in the evening. That's not the sun. It's also not sunlight. The methods of engineer lighting, you saw the flashing of light. This is the evidence of demon possession. This is the foolish behavior of those who are acting with impunity and malice. Sex offenders like Alan SANVICTORES, who are terrorists, who are holding positions that they will be removed from, and it will be public information why they've been removed. It is a public safety concern that they be removed while I'm documenting the criminal system that they are engaging in, conspiring to murder, to terrorize, harass, and intimidate as a government that is with the whole population who are engaged in demonic activity right now. Crossing path. These are demons who are pacing just like you saw in the hallway this morning while the fake sun stayed over this same exact building. And you hear them stalking in a helicopter to the demise of their own criminal co-conspirator, the people of the state. It is currently 6:56 p.m. This is going to be uploaded to the podcast. It's called the P.O.C. Pattern of Conduct, documenting for purposes of mass distribution, again, what the state's pattern of conduct is. You will recognize the ongoing consistent pattern of conduct that is shared at third-party facilitating venue Alvarado Gardens by third-party employers, Speaker Companies Incorporated, whose corporate office and the SoCal division, they're all going to federal prison. They represent what this entire population is engaging in, as I remained at that workplace and at that apartment complex from the beginning to the end of the day, where the sunrise and the sunset maintain presence over me. And this is not through the bedroom window of Alvarado Gardens apartment 6 of building 1806. This is also never going to create this light activity because it's not the sun. This is the act of the phenomenon. Also, you know that this is not creating light activity. It's not going to be seen through any of the windshields of the vehicles parked inside of the parking lot outside of my apartment of building 1806, apartment number 6. That's how you know what they all are. And they are all the people of the state that fill this hotel who will be prosecuted. They are acting with impunity. They're adding on to their own punishment. While one thinks that they're getting away, their criminal co-conspirators going to federal prison. Their criminal co-conspirators going to federal prison for years. Their criminal co-conspirator is going to be removed publicly from their place of corrupt leadership, such as chief of police, such as fire chief. They're going to be prosecuted as well as the terrorists that they are while they sought to secretly engage in the system. And because of foolish pride, they continue to engage in it, and all it's going to serve for is their public embarrassment. It is, again, 6:58 p.m. This is the prosecution of the state of California. This is Myrtle and Huntington in Monrovia, California. This is P.O.C.